Thanks for joining Pack Saddle Basics. You ever have a pack trip where you have a yard sale halfway to camp? Well, I have, and that's why I'm learning hitches. Today, I want to teach you how to do the box hitch. It's a basic hitch that works on most loads, not manties, but most pannier style loads. So I've already got these loaded up. Okay, if we don't get rained out, which is what it's been doing all day, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little fake top load on here so you can see how the box hitch works. These are my manis, a couple bed rolls. I'm gonna throw the mani tarp over. Your standard 7-foot by 8-foot mani tarp. I made this one. It's Cordura, and it's better for this video because the tarp's black, the rope's white. Otherwise, you can't really see it. So we're gonna throw the lash rope over. I'm gonna make sure you keep it in the center. Don't do that unless you really trust your animal, unless you have a really good dental plan. So I always make sure that this hook is facing the back, just so it can't get caught on anything going down the trail. So you make sure that that lash is in the center. Hold it as hard as I can. Give it a pinch, and I know you can't really see this, but I give it one more wrap, and I can get just a little tighter, because this will loosen up going down the trail. Not a lot, but it doesn't take a lot. So then, you just make a loop. You can tie a regular old knot. What I do is I just always do a loop through a loop. Pull that little extra out and put a half hitch on. As long as it's secure, not super important what kind of knot you need here. And then you go back to the other side. So you start on the left, and your first box hitch is going to be on the right. So here's the way I do the half hitches. Thumb down, thumb up. And then you make sure that this rope stays behind your loop. For a box hitch, that's very important. We go, I'm gonna pull this up a little so you can see it, but we go behind the pannier and underneath the pannier. Same thing on the front, behind the pannier, and then you just start pulling the slack from the front. So that rope is behind the box. This has the center tied down, and it has both sides tied down. In the next video, I'm going to show you the walker hitch that I think is far superior, but this works great for most smaller loads on trail that's not completely western. So when you pull that slack out of this rope, and when you give this a pull, probably hard to see on the camera, but it tightens this down and it pulls the pannier away from the rib cage of the animal. Especially with really heavy loads, that can be a problem. So now if you have two people, one person holds this rope. My 2 people is holding that camera right there. So I just do a little, put the loop through there. My rope's a little disorganized, right? Because it's been raining and we keep ducking for cover. So then you throw it to the other side. Then when we get to the other side, just give it a pull, and that pulls that slack that I put on the other side out. And we're gonna do the same thing. Thumb down, thumb up. Give it a few pulls. There's a lot of different ways to do this. That's the way it works for me. And I'm left-handed, so I tend to not follow directions right. So behind the panniers, that's probably the most important part. And same thing, pull that slack towards the front. However many times it takes is much better than redoing it on the trail, because they never come loose right at camp. They never come loose in a green meadow. Ask me how I know. They come loose in the steepest, roughest one-way canyon right before a whole bunch of people are coming. So we pull this out, and then you pull this slack that's naturally behind that other rope because you did the hitch right, and you give it a pull. It pulls up and away from the animal. And then you got a few different ways. You got to tie this off. This is the way I do it. I give it an extra pull with that loop. I pinch this off. I pretty much do everything like this. I go a loop through a loop. And then I put another little half hitch over the top of it. That keeps it from tightening down. So then, depending on how much extra rope you have, I just make a loop or a bunch of loops. If you don't have too much, you can put a daisy chain in it. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that it's not hanging on the ground. So I tuck the loop under. If you did the load right, that could be a little difficult. Just pull the loop through the loop, and I always pull it towards the back, and then you got a nice clean load. So you can see that there's one that keeps the main tight rope goes right across here. These keep the center down. Your top is good. One thing to watch for this one is it can, on a long steep trail, it can get a little loose and you might have to pull over at lunch and retighten it. So that is the box hitch. Next video, I'm gonna show you how to do the walker hitch, or the Gordon Jesse walker hitch. It's kind of a variant on the box hitch, but it doesn't ever loosen up. In fact, it gets tighter on the rougher the trail. So that's it for now. As always, keep your loads tight and your coffee hot. In case we haven't met, I'm Dave, this is Spade, and this is the channel all about donkeys, mules, packing, and backcountry adventures.